Hey everybody, welcome back to Hawks DIY. I'm Chuck, and I got more projects. So this week, we're gonna be looking at the front suspension and see if we can grease the upper and lower ball joints, the tie rod ends. We're also gonna be inspecting the drivetrain and looking at the U-joints, see if we have any play there. And if so, how we're going to address that. And then also, I have some new bulbs for the rear license plate. And so I've been working this morning on getting the grease gun ready to go. So that's what's on the agenda this week. So I guess let's get started. Well, it's August 24th, and so it's towards the end of August. And I think today is the last hot day. I think it's supposed to get up to like 89, 88 or something like that. And then all next week, it's gonna be like in the low 80s. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I can get this dude right here out on the lake. It's been a while now, let me tell you. But anyway, I'm gonna get this jack under here. I think it's best to go ahead and take the tire off. It'll be easier to get to the upper and lower ball joints and the tie rod end. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I just think that's a better deal there. I know I'm gonna have to jack both sides up, but I'll have easy access. I won't struggle to do this job. So anyway, I want you to look at this, guys. This boat has sat for so long that's accumulated garbagery underneath the boat here, you know? So, you know, the water just brings these little gifts under here. But anyway, yeah, I gotta get fishing. But I decided to switch jacks. I went with the heavy duty bottle jack 12 ton. It seemed to work a lot better. Then I put a safety jack in front of it. So I already loosened the lug nuts, and so we're ready to pull this tire off. All right, let's get these lug nuts off of here. Get this tire off. There we go. All right, guys, why don't we come in and take a closer look. All right, guys and gals, so here is the upper ball joint right here, and as you can see, it's not in the best shape. You know, that's after 70,000 miles, and it's dry. You can really tell it's dry, but I don't see any dry cracks, which is good. And then here is the tie rod end right here, and it's a little drier than the upper, which makes sense because it's closer to the ground. And then your lower ball joint is down here. It's right here, and it doesn't look bad either. They just need to be sprayed down with some silicone lube. That would really help the rubber. I'm going to do that next. And also I was going to show you, there's also a ball joint right here, and this is for the sway bar that runs over to the driver's side. So anyway, let me get that silicone spray. I think I got some of this. I'm going to use some of this Blaster industrial strength silicone lubricant. You want to use silicone, but I think I'm going to spray them down and then let them soak, and hopefully that'll help that rubber out quite a bit. But these don't have Zerk fittings. These are enclosed, sealed ball joints. So they pre-grease them brand new, and then they're sealed. You can't put any more grease in them, but I have a way that you can do that, and so we're going to give that a try today. So anyway, let me get going here and get these sprayed down. Alright guys, I got all those rubber seals sprayed down with some silicone lubricant. And I'm going to let this set for a little while. Let it kind of condition those rubber seals. I got down here, here's the tie rod end. And then there's that one. And then there's the lower ball joint. So I'm going to let these kind of sit and, you know, ferment or whatever you want to call it, saturate, you know, whatever term you want to call it. And then I'm going to go eat some lunch. I'll be back here in a bit. All right, guys and gals, I had me some lunch. And so the upper and lower ball joints and this tie rod ends had time to dry, and we're ready to grease these. And so Nissan in the owner's manual, it requires the NLG1 number 2 wheel bearing grease. So I got some of this from O'Reilly, and I got to get it loaded into the gun and get that ready to go, and then we'll get started. But yeah, everything looks pretty nice. Looks like it dried really well, and I may do a little, you know, cleaning and just kind of look them over real well again, but before I start. But yeah, we're ready for grease. All right, I got the grease gun primed. It's ready to go. So I've got a grease injector needle here I'm going to try. And remember guys, this is a needle. It's very, very small. So this has got a Zerk fitting on the end. See? And it's going to go on the end of here, on the end of the grease gun. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke the seal. It's only going to make a pinhole, okay? I'm going to inject the grease, and then afterwards we're going to put some silicone gasket maker on that pinhole, and that'll seal it off. Now, the key here is you got to let that gasket maker set up and dry before you drive the vehicle. So anyway, let's get started on, I'm going to put you up on the stand and we'll get started on greasing this thing. Alright guys, I got the needle put up on the hose on my grease gun. And this is, I'm using a Legacy 12 volt cordless grease gun, by the way. It's an I think an L1380 is the model number on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this needle and we're going to poke this seal. And looking at it, it looks like to me that this side here, you can see how it's got a good little puncture spot there. I think I'm going to poke it right there and then point it right at the ball joint. So let me try to do this here without blocking all the light. I guess I'm gonna have to. There we go, we can try it like that. Okay, so got it inserted. Now I'm gonna run the and really honestly, you don't need a whole heck of a lot. This is really good grease that lasts a really long time. But you don't want to bulge that seal too much. Alright, it's starting to come out. So let's call it good on that one. Yeah, you can see the grease coming out. So if there's grease coming out, I got plenty in there. So we'll clean that off, and then I'll seal that up with some gasket maker. All right, so I got it cleaned off, and you can see a little bit of grease there. I'm just gonna let that just sit there, coagulate for a while. I'll wipe it off later, and then I'll put some gasket maker over that. So now we're ready to move on. I think I'm gonna get the tie-in next, and then the lower ball joint. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that process. I'll come back at you when I get them all greased. Tell you what, guys, I'm getting dirtier than a lot lizard out here, I tell you that. Got the grease gun put back, and that needle, it worked pretty good. I got the cap still in there. I got to make sure to put that back on it when I'm done. But the only complaint I would have is on this particular grease gun, the grease was coming up around the zert fitting, and it was oozing out. But functionally, it worked. I mean, it worked. So I can't ask for more than that. But I've got the, I don't know if my light's down here, or, yeah, it is. I've got the lower ball joint done. You can see there. And then there's actually two on your sway bar. There's this one. And then there's that one. So all of those have been done. And then, of course, we did that one first. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to let them sit for 15-20 minutes. That way, whatever grease wants to ooze out will. The rest will stay in. Then I'll wipe it off. Like I said, I'll put gasket maker on it. And I was planning on using this stuff that I used a while back. I still had some left over. Permatex Ultra Black gasket maker. It's oil resistant. So that's what we're going to use on that. So I guess I'll come back at you when I'm ready to put that gasket maker on, and I'll show you how to seal these up. All right, guys and gals, it's been about 20-30 minutes or so. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a towel. We're going to wipe that off. And then I'm going to take some of this gasket maker. We're going to seal that hole off. So I put some gloves on to make it kind of a little easier. But you just put some gasket maker on the hole. Right there. And I'm going to put it on pretty good because I don't want it to get And that's all you got to do. And let that dry real good and before you drive it. And that pinhole won't be an issue. So I got to do these other, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 footings. Got 2 on the sway bar, tie rod end, and then the lower ball joint. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and we'll have this thing knocked out. All right, guys and gals, I got the rest of that gasket maker put on, and so a little tip on that is if the hole doesn't want to close off and you still continue to see grease come out, just put a little dab on the end of a toothpick and then blot the hole, and that usually stops it every time. But there's the tie-in, the tie rod end, that one is, and then here's the lower one, and then here's the bottom one on the sway bar. Here's the top one on the sway bar right there. And then, of course, the top one. So, everything looks good. I'm gonna let this all dry, and I'm probably gonna give it 24 hours. That way I know that gasket maker is set up real good. And inspect it tomorrow, put the tire back on, and then, of course, we gotta do the other side. So, it's already 3:30, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day, and then tomorrow we'll work on this other side, and we'll also do them bulbs, and also inspect the drivetrain, the U-joints. So anyway, I guess we'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, well, it's the next day, and boy, it's nice out here. It's supposed to be, I think, only a high of 80 degrees. So I thought I'd come out here and check on the bird feeder. It's looking like it's starting to get a little low on feed there, but adjust this, make sure it's getting some sun rays. But I hope you've enjoyed the bird clips I've been putting in the video. It's pretty cool. But we're gonna get back at it today. And so I went ahead and I inspected the, let me grab my light. I inspected everything, and everything looks great. So there's the top. It looks really good. And then there's the tie rod end. And then I kind of had a little bit of a struggle with that one there on the top of the one for the sway bar on the top. And then there's the bottom one there. And then there is the lower ball joint. So every one of them look good. They're not leaking out to any grease anymore. So that's good. And so I think we're gonna switch gears here today though. I'm gonna go ahead and put these bulbs in the rear license plate back here. And I'll show you how to do that. There's nothing to it, but anyway, this one's out right here, and that one's okay, but I went ahead and got a 2-pack to replace both. That way, your lighting will be even on each side. So I guess let's get going here. Man, the neighborhood's a hopping. Got the neighbor over here, he's pressure washing his driveway. And then we got my other neighbor over here, he's mowing his grass. So there's just all kinds of ruckus around here, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get started on these license plate lights. All right, guys, so we're underneath the truck. This is the back of the bumper here. And so here is the socket. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna just turn it counterclockwise, and then the bulb just comes right out like that. So we're gonna replace this bulb, and also the bulb number will be listed on the bulb. So let's see what it says. Let me go ahead and pull this out. So the bulb says, boy, my eyes are just getting, I don't know. I can't see what it says there, but there's the bulb anyway. And so we're going to put a new one in. Now, according to O'Reilly, this is supposed to be the right bulb, number 168. So we're going to put one of these in there. And now let me look at this old bulb and make sure that's exactly what it says. All right, I tried to read the numbers off this old bulb, but I didn't have any luck. And they don't match. It just tells, I think one of the numbers is indicating the voltage and the wattage. And then it had some other random numbers, but it doesn't match what I've got. But we're just gonna take O'Reilly's word for it. And we're gonna get a new bulb put in here as soon as I get this stupid package open. Oh, but yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get this put back in the socket, and you just gently put her in there like so. And then we'll twist that back in, like so. And that one is done. So I got to do the other side, and then once the other side is done, then we'll do a test and see how they look. All right, guys and gals, I got the lights installed, so we're going to do a test real fast. Make sure they're illuminating. So let's get in here and turn these lights on. Tell you what, there we go. Looky there. That one's going, and this one's going too. They kind of got a yellow look to them, don't they? But anyway, got those fixed. What are you doing? Huh? Fill up the tub. Turn these lights off. All right, so got that. That was one of the things on the agenda. Got that knocked out. Looks like Jeff's over here filling up tubs and stuff. Throwing down hoses, carrying hoses. He's a hoser, look at him. Take off your hoser. Oh my gosh. All right, it's time to eat some lunch. All right, guys and gals, I kind of got sidetracked today, but it's going on 4 o'clock, and I need to kind of call it a day. I'm going to put this tire back on, and then we'll resume tomorrow. And obviously I'm gonna have to do the same thing to this side. So we still got that to do, and we still got to address the drive shaft. I want to inspect that and see if we've got any issues or not. But Jeff, he just stopped and got a couple steaks. So we're gonna throw a couple steaks on the grill. And so I'm gonna cut it short, and I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Well, hey guys, gals, it's the next day, and like and subscribe since you've made it this far. Go ahead and do that, and click the notification bell so you get notified when I release a new video. I had a pretty cool comment, I think it was yesterday. The guy said that I sound like Dale Gribble from King of the Hill. And I just laughed because I think that's the second or third person that said that. So if any of you guys think I sound like Dale Gribble, just leave a comment below and let me know what you think on that. So anyway, here's where we're at. Last night we had steaks, so I kind of dropped everything. Still didn't get the tire put on, but it's ready to be put back on, so that's good. But I think before I do that, I'm going to crawl under here and look at this drive shaft, and specifically the U-joint that's up on the transmission. So that's going to be the goal for right now. So let's get you up on the stand and we'll see what we're looking into here. All right, ladies and gents, here is the U-joint. It's connected to your transmission. So in order to inspect this, what I'd like to do is get the truck in neutral. I've chalked all the wheels. If I get that in neutral, then it's a little easier to figure out if there's any play. Because if there's any play in the U-joint, then we're going to have to put a new U-joint in it. But right now, it's going to feel stiff because it's in gear, or it's in park. So anyway, let me get this thing started and idle down, and then we'll do a test. Okay guys, she's idled down now. I'm gonna hop in here. I've got the emergency brake on, but I'm gonna press the brake, and we're gonna put this thing in neutral. Okay, it's in neutral. Make sure to leave the parking brake on. So now we're going to see if there's any play in this U-joint. Hopefully, yeah, make sure your wheels are chalked too. Yeah, it looks solid, guys. Yeah, it looks solid. I don't feel any play. No back and forth movement. Left or right movement either. So I think we're okay. Awesome. All right, guys, I was going to mention to you that on that U-joint, that's a sealed U-joint. It doesn't have a Zerk fitting, so you're not going to be able to grease them. But it looks to be okay, which is good news. Now there's another one here on the back on the differential, and I haven't inspected it yet. I think I'll get to that in another video. But I've got this side greased, and I got those bulbs replaced. I still got to do the driver's side, and I'll get to that in the next day or two. But I think this is as good as a spot as any to end this video, get some content out to you guys. So if you would like and subscribe, really helps out the channel, doesn't cost anything. And I guess that's it. Remember, you can't get projects done sitting on your hiney. So get out there and get your projects done, and we'll see you next time.